In this exercise, we'll be building a basic game that's focused on collecting items and scoring points for that. What I've got here is a finished file, just with some basic actors as squares, and I've got a hero actor that can navigate around the screen using the arrow keys, and each of the 5 yellow squares represents a gold coin. So the objective here is to go around and collect the coins, and when the actor comes upon the coin, it eats it up, so the coin disappears, and we increase our score by 1. We've got walls to hold the actor inside, and we've got a brown gate over here that he can't get through until he collects 4 or more coins. So the idea is to go around and collect 4 or more coins, which will open the gate, and then he can get through to the next level. So let's just hit preview and we'll give this a try. You can see our score display up here. Of course, I've got a few sounds associated with the collision. So if I go around, I can collect 1, 2, and I'll demonstrate that the gate is not penetrable at this time. It's acting as a wall. So I need to get at least 4 coins to change that. So I've got 3 now, and here comes 1 more. And you can see that it fades away and disappears. And if I drive through now, I get back to the win screen. You could have had it go to another level. Really, it's up to you as the game maker to decide where we go, but we did basically reach a level by achieving our objective, opening a door, and going through it. So we're going to build this from scratch right now. I'll just quickly show you how it's made, or at least what's involved here with the actors. I've got 2 scenes. Actually, let's just go up here. I've got 2 scenes, initial scene and the you win scene. And I've got 7 different actors here. I've got a hero, I've got coins, I've got the brown gate, I've got the coin display, then the walls, and an invisible actor called Threshold, which is placed over here, which triggers the change of scenes once the hero passes across it. And then finally another display screen for the you win scene, if you will. You'll notice here too I do have a few sounds here, and I will provide those sounds for you. Okay, just before I start the brand new file, there's one more thing I actually want to show you, which is a game attribute called coins, and that's where we're going to register each collision of the yellow coin with the green hero, which will then add 1 to this attribute, and we'll be reading that out inside of our game score. Okay, so I do have a new file created here. I just saved it basically as a new file. I called it collectibles1, and make sure you choose iPad landscape resolution independence, and then just save that, do a save as, and save it in your project folder. I'm going to go to my initial scene. It's still blank. I'm going to start by just creating some of the environment and the navigation for the hero. So for that part, I'm going to go a little bit fast, I think. I'll just start with 3 actors to begin with. Hero. And let me just double click on that, and I'll give it a color of green. I'll darken that a bit. And size, I will make it 50 by 50 pixels. Okay. Over here, I guess we'll go with the coins. Coin. I'll make that even smaller. We'll go 25 by 25 pixels. And we'll make that a yellowish gold color. Okay. And over here, I guess I'll create the gate. And I'll just give it a brown color, and then I'll just stretch it on screen as far as size goes. And we'll just give that sort of a warmish brown. There we go. Okay, and I guess I'll throw in some walls as well. We'll call this walls. Okay, I'll make those red. And those I'll just customize in shape as well when I drag them onto the stage. And I guess the other items that I need now, one is an invisible item, which is when the green hero passes through the open door, there's a threshold that it will cross over, which will trigger it to move to the next scene. So I might as well include that. That will come into play after a while. Threshold. I'll just leave that for now and we'll deal with it when it comes time to put it on screen. And then the two display actors, one for the first scene, which will show the score, and the other one for the you win page, if you will. So I'll call this coin score display. And the last one will be you win display. Okay, great time to save the file. Alright, now I'm going to go over to my game attributes and I'll throw in that attribute. We'll make it an integer. And I'll double click it and rename it coins. And again, save my file. Alright, let me go back to my actors now. And I'll quickly build my environment. I'm going to double click on walls here. I need to affect the physics. I don't want it to be movable. So I'm going to turn off movable. I don't want it to be rotated, so fixed rotation. And let's just turn all of our physics down to 0 so it poses no stress on the engine whatsoever. There we go. Because they're going to be still, they're not going to be movable. Okay, let's go back to our scene here. So I'll drag these walls out and I'll quickly make 4 walls. I can use my option key and drag to duplicate. Just reposition that a bit. And I'll drag with my option key down again and we'll just reshape that to fit over here. And then I'll drag that over here with my option key down once again. And of course I do need to leave an opening for a doorway. So I'll shorten that, then duplicate that with my option key down. And I could refine these positions if they're not perfect. I'm just going to eyeball it for the sake of our exercise though. And there we go. We've got the walls. Let's bring the gate in. I'm actually going to make the gate unmovable as well. So we'll give it all that same treatment. 0 on the density, 0 on friction, 0 on bounciness, fixed rotation, and not movable. And we'll just kind of put that out front a bit here. And as long as it's covering that hole, we're good. Good time to save again. It's good to save frequently. Alright, so there's our basic environment. We'll deal a little bit more with the gate stuff shortly, but I'm going to introduce the hero now to the game. And I'll quickly apply some movement ability to him or her. Double click and we'll start with the basic movements. So let's just say create rule. Actor receives event key. On the keyboard I'm going to say if I hit the key to the right, then it moves to the right. So I will look for the behavior called move. And we'll set the direction. It's already set to 0, which is to the right. And we can leave the speed at 300. So that's good for that. I'll just change the name of the rule. I'll call it move right, because it's very similar to the others, so I'll just duplicate this. I'll just grab that by the title with my option key down, and we'll rename this one move left. And we'll just basically change the key and the direction. So the keyboard will be left, and the direction will be 180 degrees. Keep the speed the same. Again, I'll save. And I'll duplicate that. Option click and drag. If I'm on a PC, it'd be Alt click and drag. Move up. And the keyboard command will be the up key, the up arrow key. And the direction will be upwards, which is actually 90 degrees. And I'll just collapse some of these so I have a little bit more space to see. And the last one here is option click and drag. and the keyboard command will be the down arrow, and the direction will be down, which is 270 degrees. And we can just collapse that as well. So now I've got my movement. Let me test that. Preview. Arrow, up arrow. Oh, okay. So you can see that it's going through the walls, but we do have movement in all four directions, and you can combine. All right, so let's set up a collision situation for the walls as well as for the gate. We will put that into the hero as well. So we'll go back here. I think I'll save this, and we'll add another rule because I want to add sound to it as well. So when actor receives event, overlaps or collides with walls, we'll go add sound, play sound, and I've got one here. Oh, I need to import them still actually, so let me do that now. I'll just save my file, and I'll go down to sounds, and I'll just add some sounds. I do have some already here. I've got one called FX03, and there's another one I wanted. I think it was called 16. Might be in my assets folder. Yes, there it is there. And that's the one I'll use actually for the wall. Now once these sounds are inside of the library, they will appear on the menu. So I can go back to my play sound, pull down, and there you see. And we'll give that a try. Actually, I still need to make the walls set up so that the actor will not go through them. And I'll just set up a basic collide. Okay, bounce when colliding with actor type walls. And I can actually put that inside of this rule with the play sound. The wall should be resistant now to the hero actor, and we should also hear a sound when it collides. So let's give that a preview. There we go. And I think I'm going to change the physics on my actor, but it is working. Let me go back into the physics here. And that was the bounciness you could see. So again, I'll turn all these down to 0. I do want it to be movable, but I will check fixed rotation just so that it doesn't tip on its side. Shouldn't, but let's just make sure. We'll give that another try. There we go. That's a little bit more of the type of reaction that I'm looking for. Just a blunt hit. And a little bit of audio feedback. Now it's still not going to collide with the gate, so we need to do the same thing for the gate. So I can actually just duplicate this rule. I'll call this rule collide with walls. And I'll duplicate that. And I'll call this one collide with gate. And we'll just change the conditions from walls to gate. Bounce when colliding with actor called gate. And we will keep that same sound effect. Save the file. Just refresh if you have to. And I should get that same blunt hit. And I do. Okay, so now we've got our walls and our gate set up. Our hero actor can navigate all around the playing area.